Okay, for more on the tensions between the U.S. and Iran and China's emerging sea power, we go to John Jordan, former Naval Intelligence Officer. Welcome once again, John. Glad to have you. So we've heard this from Iran before, their threats to close the Strait of Hormuz. Why should we take them seriously this time? And is it a real serious threat? Can it happen?
Iran has the ability to interfere with shipping traffic through the Straits of Hormuz for a few hours or maybe a day or so at most. They do not have the ability to absolutely shut it off. Now, in terms of the effectiveness of the new sanctions regime and its effect on oil prices, the Saudi behavior and the Saudi decision whether or not, along with the UAE, to up productions to make up for that shortfall and its effect on markets, that is more important for oil prices than blustering by the Iranian military.
All right, there's also the worry that a more realistic scenario is a cyber attack by Iran on the Saudi oil infrastructure, since Iran believes the Saudis are giving Trump cover to get tougher with them and with the sanctions. Any concerns there?
Oh, absolutely. Cyber warfare now is the apex of asymmetric warfare, and that's what smaller, less affluent countries are able to do to more powerful foes. How effective this is really depends on how good a job Saudi Aramco has done in safeguarding its facilities and assets from outside intrusion. But we really don't have any visibility into that. But that is a far more credible threat, potentially.
Now, if push comes to shove, and let's hope it doesn't, could the U.S. affect an oil blockade on India and or on China?
Well, it's unlikely that we would do it on India. Keep in mind that 87% of China's oil has to flow through the Indian Ocean, and 100% of its trade with Europe and Africa. The Chinese Navy doesn't really have the ability to project power into the Indian Ocean, which is why they spend so much time and effort with Pakistan and trying to foment conflict between Pakistan and India. Interestingly enough, China and India have actually fought two battles, one of which was actually during the exact same week of the Cuban Missile Crisis in October of 1962, and then again they fought another conflict in 1971. So China is more likely to be in a conflict with India than on the same side.
All right, now finally, what is going on with China, their weapons, and India and Pakistan? It seems from the stories I'm reading, they're kind of playing both sides here, no?
Well, China has a reason. China wants to be needed by Pakistan, so that's why they've been supplying arms to Kashmiri and Jammu rebels in Pakistan. The Pakistanis don't want to supply the weapons because they don't want to be seen as having done that, but the Chinese have been, because they need Pakistan to need them, because ultimately that is China's only potentially real friend and basing opportunity in the Indian Ocean.
All right, listen, John, always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
I'm Rick Sanchez.